The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. St. Augustine. People often miss out on traveling because they think that it's not worth it due to time or money or something else. But as a missionary, I have learned that there is nothing that could possibly be more worth it than traveling. Because traveling gives you a whole new perspective and allows you to learn about people that are different than you. And it allows you to learn about different cultures and different languages and the world around you. Traveling and exploring new places is important for everyone because it extends people's cultural understanding and it creates new perspectives and it allows us to learn new things and increases our education. Traveling increases our cultural understanding and teaches us about the world around us. We can witness different cultures when we travel, and we can see the way that other people live, which shows us that we are not the only ones here, and people are different. There's different things that go on in the world that we can never possibly understand or comprehend if we didn't travel and go out and see them. Because oftentimes we just sit in our own little bubble and we think that what we do and our everyday lives are the way that the whole world lives. But everyone is so different and there's so many different cultures that we could never possibly fathom if we didn't travel. So if we never travel, we will never understand what occurs in other parts of the world, and we will continue to be narrow-minded, and we will never truly have an understanding of anything or anybody other than just our little hometown. With cultural understanding comes brand new perspectives, which is another incredible aspect and benefit of traveling. By traveling to other places, we can witness things that we could never even imagine before. We can witness the way that other people live, and we can get a whole new perspective of life, and we can get a whole new perspective of the world around us. Marcel Proust once said, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in simply seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." Because when we go to other places, we get a whole new perspective and we see things completely differently. Before I became a missionary, I lived in a small town in Mississippi, and I thought that everyone lived the same way as me. I thought that my life, my everyday routine, was the same as everyone else on earth. I didn't realize how different everything was. I lived in pity and I thought that I was poor until I came here to Nicaragua, and now I am so thankful for everything that I have, and I see how blessed I am as well as everyone else in America, because I was before I was only comparing myself to the rest of American culture, whereas really compared to the rest of the world, I am rich, and I am so thankful for what I have, and I'm so thankful for the new perspective, and I'm so blessed. And so being able to travel gives us these new perspectives, these new world views, these new views of people around us and our lives. In an article by H.T. Lee titled "Traveling Gives New Perspectives," Lee refers to travel as therapy because often people get so just caught up in the mundane monotony of life that they become bored or even depressed. And so by traveling, we experience an escape from that boredom and depression, and we get to see a whole new perspective, and we get to experience so many things that are so different from the everyday lives that we have in our small town in America. And so by traveling, we have a whole new perspective, and it actually just helps our lives, and it makes us so much just happier. When we travel, we learn important things, and we increase our knowledge of the world around us, which could actually bring the entire world closer together and increase our education and communication. One thing that we learn by traveling is language. The best way to learn a foreign language is by submersing yourself in the culture. And so many people will study foreign language for years before coming to another country, and they will never understand it until they actually go to a place where they're surrounded by people who only speak that language that they want to learn. That is the best way you could possibly learn. Kathleen Elliott, an ISA study abroad student, said, "Every day is a new adventure, and every conversation teaches me something new." I took Spanish for 3 years before I came to Nicaragua, and I could not hold a single conversation, and I didn't fully understand the language until I came here. But now, because I'm surrounded by this culture and surrounded by Spanish-speaking people, I understand Spanish and I can communicate so much just better. I can communicate to people of other languages. Another thing that you learn aside from foreign languages is geography and adaptation skills. Because if you go to other places, that you're not used to, you're going to have to learn to adapt, and you're going to learn more about geography and landscapes and different climates. Take someone who has lived in the Florida beaches for their whole life. If you take them out of the Florida beaches and they go for a little while to the snowy mountains of Washington, they're going to have to learn to adapt very quickly to make the best of their time there. They're also going to learn about geography and landscapes such as mountains, snow, and different climates that they would have never understood if they had not left their town in Florida. The most important thing, however, that we could learn from traveling is how to communicate and how to connect with people of other backgrounds, of other cultures, and of other languages. If we can learn to build relationships with people who are different than us, then we can make the entire world a better place, because we can learn to communicate, and we can actually bring all of humanity together for a better world. So no matter what your personal fears are, everyone should travel. Traveling is essential because it helps us develop a cultural understanding, it gives us a new perspective, and it increases our education. The best decision I ever made was to take a break from my small town in Mississippi and get out of the monotony of life and travel to a new place for a new perspective. And you can make the same bold decision to step out of your comfort zone and leave the everyday life that you have known for so long and go and experience something apart from your own little world. Because if you stay inside your own little world forever, you will never know what the world holds in the great beyond. And because there's so many other things that we could never possibly fathom if we stay in the same place forever. There is an entire world of adventure out there just waiting to be explored. So get out, get lost, and find yourself in the journey.